tool. It tends to scare new users. I used to be one of those, but it really is one of the most powerful tools you can use in Illustrator, and it's just going to take your products to the next level. So a few tips for you as you begin learning. Set your fill and stroke before you begin with the pen tool. So I'm going to set no fill and a black stroke, and I'm going to increase the size just a little bit. So here's my pen tool, and just like all of our other Illustrator tools, I can pull those off and let those float. And we'll kind of talk about these items as we go through. So to start with our pen tool, we can create straight lines. So I just clicked down and created what's called a point. And you can see as I drag out on my trackpad, I'm getting a preview of where that stroke, where that path is going to be. And when I click down, I've added a new anchor point. And so I can keep clicking and adding points, and Illustrator draws those paths for me. Now, if I want to connect back to the beginning and then create a full shape, I just need to come back and I get that little cue with that circle next to my pen tool. And now I have a full shape. Now, if you're drawing and you don't want to connect them, you can just hit the escape key and end that creation right there. Another quick tip is, instead of coming back to my selection tool, kind of deselecting, reselecting, I can use the command tool and click down, and that deselects my current shape. Well, it's all fine to get straight lines, but curved lines is really where it's at. So it's going to start much the same way. We're going to click for a point, but instead of clicking again, we're going to drag an anchor point. So I click and drag all in one motion, and these are my direction handles. And so when I come over here, it's curving the line. So I'm going to add another point, and I'm going to curve that up again. So what are my direction handles doing? Well, they're kind of communicating what you want the path to do. So this direction handle on this side is saying, come down here toward me. So if I manipulate this, you can see it impacts that curve. Come down here toward me before you go to this point. This one says the same thing. Come down here toward me before you go up to this point. And as you're kind of seeing, these direction handles can be manipulated. So I switched to my direct selection tool, and I can change those. I'm going to switch back to my pen tool, and I'm just going to pick up this anchor point again. So I just clicked on it, and I'm going to draw a straight line, and then we're going to curve again. So I've just drawn one direction handle. And one of the things that might help you is to add a few points in your curve. So I just clicked there, and I'm using my guides to kind of figure out where I want these, and I'll add a new direction handle there. Now sometimes when you draw, you don't want this next curve to happen. When that's the case, what you want to do is switch using your Option key and just close that direction handle. So again, click and drag gives us our handles. Switching to our Option key lets it bring it back inside. Now let's say that you've got your artwork, but this looks a little wonky, this looks a little wonky. Well, we can still edit all of those points. So with my selection tool, I can come in here, I can move my handles, I can even change what kind of anchor point this is. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to convert that to a smooth. So look at that now. Now it's got that smooth anchor point to it. And I can click this one and let's make it a smooth. So now I've got kind of a nice curving happening here, minus that craziness. Now let's say, actually, you know, I've changed my mind. This, I don't want it to be curved. I can convert it. Notice when I convert it, I could curve it that way too. So you get all kinds of different options. Now sometimes when you're drawing, you'll kind of feel like, ooh, I should have added one more anchor point. That's when you grab the add an anchor point, and you can add that. Now because it was on a curve, it created some direction handles. But again, I could convert those. And if I decide, you know, I don't need that, I can just take that away. This is my anchor point tool. So this allows me to select and kind of start manipulating those anchor points. So I can click in there, start dragging those. Now another thing that might help you, and let's come back to our first line, and I'm going to select it, grab our pen tool, and we're just going to pick up this point right here. And so notice whatever point I have selected is dark blue, and I'm going to go right there. Oh, I was so close, but I missed it. There's a way to solve that. So I'm going to select both of those points. I have my direct selection tool, and I'm going to join the selected endpoints. So if you get close but you kind of miss, that's a great solution for you. I can also trim paths. So if I select an anchor point, I can cut that anchor point right there. So that gives you an overview of how to get started with the pen tool. When I started learning the pen tool, I downloaded road signs because road signs have nice curves and straight lines and angles. And what you can do is just place those as an image and draw right on top of them. I've also added a document in the down bar that is kind of a pen tool practice exercise for you. So feel free to experiment with that.